Good morning. So it's Mother's Day, and I'm so happy to see you, Doodle. I wanted to know if you're going to stay, and if you. Okay, so you can't come on panel, but that's fine. I'm just going to open my YouTube side so I can drop the link if anyone does want to join. Okay. And I guess I'll try and pin the link. So let me copy it. There it is. Good morning, soldier. There's the link if you want to come and join. I know I know there's people that have something to say about the last week's um, shenanigans. So anything you want to talk about on that, I'm willing to listen and give you my take on what's happening. And then the other thing was I was going to discuss again why not? Why not? Why not let people that moderate for you go to places that you don't necessarily like? Oh, come on, Zolda, then. Come on up. I would love that. You can spit it out. I do know someone said they would come and visit. Oh, Winky, how do you do? And they probably have something to say too. But I was just thinking this morning about like wrenches and going places. And I have two wrenches. I have Brandy and I have Doodle. And I thought, now, what kind of person would I be if I told my wrench Brandy that if I saw her in a chat with that Mike guy, Mikester, that I would de-wrench her? How crazy would that be? It would be a little crazy. You know what? I'm really excited that I actually have 6 people, which is very close to my record. I think my record is 7 or 8. And she spits. So are you coming up, soldier, or no? Are you scared? I have dead air space. I have radio silence. Come on. Oh, thanks a lot. Yeah, Mike's a troll. But then, uh, I don't know. There's nothing really wrong with it. Besides, I have stuff on Mike, so if he goes anywhere I don't want him to, uh-uh. He wouldn't want that to happen. Just kidding. Oh, 7 people. Not in a comment section, nor my channel, nor a video. Oh, Mike behaves around you, Winky. You must have special powers. Yeah, she has special powers, I'm sure. Okay, yeah, let's talk about getting things wrong. Oh, come on up, Mike. Wild one, Mike. Keep me company. Isn't it interesting when you listen to a stream that you wouldn't normally listen to, but for some reason you just decided to click on there and they wanted to tell you all of their rules. And their rules don't coincide with their behavior. See what happens, Mike? Now people left because you don't want to come up. I was speaking in general about going to different chats when people gathered to attack another. How does that? Okay, make that make sense. Do people really do that, or does it just some kind of residual effect when people start talking about something? So yeah, like a lot of people like seem to think that there should be rules about where you should go, and I don't see any problem with someone. If someone wanted to go somewhere and listen to someone talking smack about me or somebody else that I like, I don't see a problem with them being there. I don't know. Let me try and contact Mikester. See if I can. He's probably sleeping. That's probably their rules today. Is they have to sleep in. It's a rule. This might take me a minute. Okay, so he has the link now if he wants to come in. But I doubt if he's even awake. Cooking breakfast. I don't know. I don't think eating's a rule for her. Because he wouldn't eat his dinner last night and he got in big trouble. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, Winky. Like, why, here's the result. If you have a chat and you don't like that your people go to other people's chats, it's very, it's bad for everyone's channel. It's bad for your channel. Like I've noticed, I guess I kind of been looking around a little bit. I noticed that there's some people that hold wrenches in chats where I don't normally go. So I checked out these different places, and those people have that kind of a rule where, well, if I see you over there, then, whatever, you're not my friend, or you can't be part of my channel. So because I haven't seen them around in some of the places where I go lately, and they normally would have, I'm thinking that wrench created a situation for them. So now they may still come into those chats, but they're afraid to talk. And that's what I think is counterproductive, because I think if you're in YouTube, in order to get the algorithm going, you need people to participate in chat. Yeah, like, I don't blame you, Soldier. Like, why would you want to be a mod somewhere where people just, you're not allowed to chat anywhere else? And that person may go on live 2 times a day, which might be enough for some people. But if you're not on the same schedule, and you feel like going on YouTube, why shouldn't you be able to chat, even if it's in a negative stream? Like a lot of people like to watch those negative people. Just, it's like it's a way of protecting yourself. To watch someone that's negative is to find out what they're willing to do, what they're capable of, or what they're, tell a lot of them tell on themselves. So you want to, they may be giving information that you might find beneficial somehow. Maybe not to you personally, but to someone else. Now, I wouldn't go back to, if they're talking about somebody I like, and say, oh, this person said this about you. I don't think it's my business to do that. Yeah, or come back in a couple of minutes. Oh, okay. You don't have to stay. My following is really growing. I think it's because of all my degrees of ridiculousness. I've been hearing a lot about what a degree can do for you. You know, did you know that you could become a lawyer in a state without passing a bar? Now, they're saying it's Wisconsin. Does anyone here know if that's true or not? Because I've never heard of that. Is that really true? Or is it you can become an acting attorney? In other words, I don't know. I mean, what would you be able to do? Write wills? It's kind of like being a notary public. Bird law. Yeah, you might be able to become a notary and then have a stamp. But I really don't see what kind of a lawyer, or what kind of a person would want to hire a lawyer that hasn't passed the bar exam. Right, that's what I thought, Winky. I didn't know why, but it just it doesn't make sense to me. Or maybe they can, legally marry you or something, become a captain of a ship. So yeah, so what would even if you don't live in Wisconsin, that's the other part of that whole conversation. If you don't live in Wisconsin, why does it even matter if you can get a degree there? Okay, where's your proof? You have to go to Wisconsin and earn your degree, and then go back to the state that you live in and say, I have a law degree in Wisconsin. Oh, can you not guess, Winky? She had so much to say yesterday, and it all seemed to be quite wrong. Shut up, Soldier. He's not a butthead. He's one of my favorite buttheads, if he is. You don't. No, seriously. Can someone fill Winky in? on who I may or may not be allegedly talking about. Someone that has wanted attention, so finally said something yesterday. Okay, I only give clues because I'm not guilty of anything. It wasn't me. I didn't say it. Clip me as much as you want to. Where's Hartley? You know, clip my statements on law degrees. I'm not a lawyer. See, that's a very good attitude, Winky. I'm not sure, and I'm okay with that. Same here. Like, I don't need to know everything, but if I can follow kind of a thread of conversation, I'm okay with it. You know, it makes some kind of sense somewhere in some universe. Yeah. Okay. Did you know he's God Almighty, though, Soldier? Did you know? He is. He is the God Almighty. So if you're his sister, you're good. Okay. What else can we say about uh, the week? Does anyone have an opinion about what's funny and what isn't when it comes to YouTube? How far can someone go and still be funny? I think if you're like creating a situation that's extremely negative and then you're calling it a joke later, that is probably not a funny joke. And it's probably not even sarcasm. Like, for instance, excuse me, if the same person, their title had nicknames that they decided to give people that they felt had no right to talk about them. And the nicknames were extremely negative. So already the title is telling you that they want to start something. They're not. That's to me. That's not a response. That's starting something. I can't believe it's tomorrow's my birthday, and I wanted to talk about. Also, I want to talk about families. And one of the things that I do like on YouTube is people that have rather large families because I feel like they have they learn coping skills very early in life. So when they come to YouTube, they're yeah, exactly, Soldier. Very poor taste. So when they come to YouTube, when people do become start blaming them or become negative, they know how to talk to someone without making them feel like it's all their fault. Let's put it that way. So there's a little bit less backlash in the clapback. Now, people that only have a few children, some of them, or even people that have maybe one child, some of them, if their child is mature in nature, can kind of do a role reversal. I've seen that on YouTube, where the mature child is actually parenting the parent. Thank you, Wild One. So that was just another observation that I made. Like, why, it's great to be proud of your kids, of course. But if you find that your kid is more mature than you are and they are actually parenting you, giving you, you know, small amounts of advice that may be helpful to them because you're not doing the right thing around them all the time, then maybe, you know, stop criticizing other people's parenting. So, okay, so back to why not? Why not go to negative streams? I think if you are the type of person that takes offense really easily or has a tendency to white knight, oh no, I'm sure it won't. Come on up, soldier. I'd like to hear some birds. I'm feeling a little bit um like I spent the morning looking at dog breeds because I'm feeling a little bit like maybe I should get a dog soon. But but then I get depressed and think that's that's way too much work. What if I'm not responsible enough anymore, to own a dog? I'd feel really bad. And I think even at 66, I'm still young enough to live long enough for the dog's lifetime. So, okay, that'd be great. That'd be great, Soldier. I am. Yeah, I'm looking. Okay, so what happened to me yesterday? I go into a live stream and some of my favorite people are in there, and we're listening to another live stream who's not my favorite person, but I'm not against her. I'm just like, why does she think everyone hates her? Why does she think everything's about her? I, you know, I don't get it. I don't chat there because she has too many rules. Like you have to be part of her, whatever it is that she's determined in order to chat there safely. So why go in there and get myself blocked for no reason at all? Why would I do that? Why not just not say anything? And then I can take it if somebody wants to say, well, you're sitting on the fence because you didn't, where was your outrage? You know, I don't really have outrage for people. If people want to like stick their foot in a big pile of mud from their YouTube channel, I give them permission, even though they don't, obviously they don't need my permission. But why would I stop them if that's what they want to do? Now, if they wanted not to do that and they have a tendency to do things like that, then they should have a panel where they might have a friend that would say, oh, let me just interrupt for a second. Distract them and change the subject. That would be helpful to them. Like what, see, that's the thing, Winky. You're that person that everybody says, well, Winky, she can go everywhere. Well, everyone can go everywhere. The difference is that people have an understanding with Winky that her brain actually is a functioning brain and she can make her own decisions. And she doesn't have to say anything when someone does something really terribly wrong because she doesn't want to be that Captain Obvious. Why should she? You're still lost. You still don't know who I'm talking about. I can't believe it. Okay, it's all right. I'll never say the name. Maybe someone can fill you in. That's funny. I never thought I'd be that person when I went live to talk about something and not and then pull a. Now I don't even want to say that name. Oh my gosh, it's so hard. It's so hard to come on here and not say the name of the person you want to talk about, but like not the names. The names, they're not real names, okay? They're not their real names. But anyway, So if you come on here and you say something about somebody, and I can't. I find it hilarious to say the names that they use and, you know, talk about them like I know them. I don't know these people. Yeah, like, see, I agree. Most people do not care. Like most of the people watching, if, okay, I have 3 people watching. So I'm, a big channel. So I don't really have to be that careful. But if you see somebody who's got 200 people watching and they're complaining like crazy about something somebody said, like crazy, and they got like 10 people, commiserating, white knighting, doing whatever, 10 or 11 or maybe 25 or however many. There are 125 people that don't care. They're just watching, and I don't call it hate watching. They're watching out of an interest. They all kinds of reasons for watching, like the sound of the person's voice. They might like the mistakes that they make, find them entertaining in some way. It's not because they're if you want to like only the brightest people on YouTube, you wouldn't be watching drama. Yeah, they say, but however, that's not the. Yes, what they care about though is that they be popular because they think popularity, because if they don't have intelligence or, musicals or something, then they need popularity to become a giant channel. But that's not true either. These people that have giant channels are not just popular. They have other things that go along with that. So just being popular is not going to work. Right, Boyd has mouthy people. Let's put it that way. Uh, the sound of your silence was a big message. So, like I also I went to everyone else did back in the day, and I'm not from Boyd, but I went there when people were talking about them because I was curious, and I got over it. I got over my curiosity. No, yeah. So, but they're not that they didn't become popular. They they're known, but not popular. Is that I'm just saying it, right? Your saliva. No, I'm just so happy that you came to see me on Mother's Day, Winky. I pretty much knew there weren't going to be many people in here because Mother's Day. Oh, sorry. Mother's Day, people are going to either be sleeping in or out at the breakfast, or what do you call it? The brunch buffet at, some fancy hotel in New York City. Isn't that what people do on Mother's Day? And what kinds of things did you do on Mother's Day? Like, I'm not talking to my kids right now because they're probably sleeping. I'm not I'm not going to call them for Mother's Day. I'll let them call me first unless it gets to be around dinner time, then I'll call them first because, you know, right, that's my deal too. My daughter on a good day sleeps until noon. So, I can imagine on Mother's Day she'd probably sleep till 1. She's on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. So, you know, she's 3 hours ahead. So it's only, you know, just afternoon there. Oh, I got an orchid from my roommate. he gave me an orchid for Mother's Day, which I've never had. Now I have to try and keep it alive. I'm really gonna fail, I'm sure. So, oh yeah. So what else happened to me? So I'm in that stream listening to that, and that's where I got all my information for today. But what really happened was somebody asked me how was I doing, and I was like, I said something, and then my other comment was, and I'm out of cigarettes, right? And I'm like, why? I asked my roommate does all the stuff for me. He does all the things. So, and I asked him yesterday to pick me up cigarettes, and he said he would, and I didn't hear from him. So I was out of cigarettes. I think maybe I had one left or something, and I'm watching that stream, and I'm texting him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm in Arizona. I'll I can't talk on the phone. I I'll something or other with the details later." And I'm like, "What? Why wouldn't you tell me that yesterday when I asked you to pick me up some cigarettes?" So I spent the whole day trying to contact him, like, what's going on here with, you know, because my vehicle's not registered, so I don't drive right now. And I spent it like the smoke shop that I buy my cigarettes from. It's an Indian smoke shop. So my cigarettes cost, I don't know, $22 a carton. So he finally says around like 3 p.m., I'm gonna Uber you some cigarettes. And the store closes at 7. So I figure 3 hours that'll give us enough time to get some cigarettes. Dude, I didn't get those cigarettes until 8 p.m. It was crazy. I was like, what's going on here? Why would he do that on my birthday? Like not pick up the cigarettes and tell me he's in Arizona. I don't know. Do you think Arizona's code for like I'm at the casino? I do live in Las Vegas. Yeah, no, but the cigarettes I buy, they're like they call them old people's cigarettes because they're actually cigars made into the form of the cigarette, and they write cigar on the box so that they're not taxed. So they're called old people's cigarettes because only old people will smoke them. Yeah, like that was like, I don't know, 10 or 11 hours I waited for that Uber. So I'm like, all through the day, I'm like sleepy and I'm like, want to take a nap, but I'm afraid the Uber is going to show up and somehow I'm not going to get my cigarettes. Anyway, so like when he'd been caught, I said, yeah, I'm like, it's 7:15, and I'm like, the store's already closed. Like, am I waiting for nothing? And he's like, no, they already have them. They already bought them. They said. I'm like, okay, so like, I'm not getting any information at all. Like, how do these Uber things work when it doesn't come to food? Okay, so he recontacts them, and turns out they delivered the cigarettes and they just put them on the hood of my truck and left. Didn't tell me, didn't tell him, didn't tell anybody because, cigarettes don't go bad or get cold. It's not like Ubering a meal. I laid down. I can't lay down without falling asleep. So I couldn't lay down. That was the problem. I wanted to lay down and wait, but I didn't want to fall asleep and then like something happened to nobody's going to steal those nasty old cigarettes anyway. I know, but I live in the ghetto. Okay. it's just, I don't know. It's not like ghetto, like there's like bandits running around, But, you know, people come and grab stuff out of your yard if it's not nailed down sometimes. Like maybe a tool or, you know, they'll come and look through your yard and see if there's anything they want. It's that kind of ghetto. So, because I mean, real robbers don't look in the ghetto to rob people because they know, like, probably we don't have anything they want or that they can sell at the pawn shop, you know. So they go to fancy neighborhoods. She's that no, you're currently sacrificing your body for me because what you want to go to sleep? Is that it? What's the problem here? Do I need to shut this down so Winky can can get on with her day? Oh no! You see, we don't have mosquitoes here. Now that would have been a problem if we had mosquitoes, and I'm going outside at 7:15 or 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. I would have got swarmed, but no, no mosquitoes, nothing. I just have to watch out for scorpions. That's it, and maybe black widow spiders. Here's Soldier. Thank you. I feel so much better now. I can't hear you though. Can you say something? Okay. You can try that again. Am I still roboting? Oh yeah, like I guess first you need a puddle and then they appear after that, after the first spring puddle. Is she completely gone or there she is? Have you got all your devices attached? Connected?
I think so.
Here you are.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Great. I'm so happy you came up to keep me company. You know, like
Yeah.
my loyal people are busy on Mother's Day. I hate them.
How dare they?
I know.
Holiday. Jeez. Can you hear me okay, though? Is
Yeah,
everything all right? Okay.
you sound really great.
Okay.
So do you know what I've been talking about?
Yeah, I've been listening.
No, but do you know who I was talking about?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Because guess
Well,
what? I'm just going to tell you something
way.
real quick.
Okay,
I've
sure.
been not listening to, well, I've just, ever since I lost my channel and being unsubbed from everybody and having my history completely clean, you know, it's like a fresh slate. So I don't catch as much, but I'll try to figure it out.
Right. Well, here, what I was going to say is that I'm never going to say who it is when I'm talking about somebody, you know, because if you can't figure out who it is, then probably you don't need to know that person.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my opinion on that. And that's why I wouldn't, like, if I had a friend that went over there, I don't have anything against that person that I'm talking about. I'm just talking about them because they can't stop talking about everyone else. So seems like fair game, but I'm not going to use their name.
Yeah, well, that just leads more, you know, that just kind of feeds into that cycle, right? Like, so you'll mention the name and then everyone's going to go over there. And yeah, so if I don't know who you're talking about, I'm glad not to, because then I won't be curious and go check it out.
That's right. And it makes me so much more intriguing, don't you think?
Yes. Yes.
Like I know somebody's secrets. And then I was watching something else that I don't have any clue what is going on over there. The whole time I listened, I was like, am I in their Discord or something? I feel like I'm hearing information that shouldn't be heard by anybody. just public information. It just felt uncomfortable.
Oh, look, Nana's here. Good morning, Nana.
Hi, Nana.
I hope you're doing a happy Mother's Day twerk, girl. Work it. Mm. I love Nana. And
So
she lets me give her a little bit of shit, and I love that. Thank you, Nana.
who's
Oh,
making your tongue? Because I know it's not Mike. Because you can pretty much say whatever you want to him. He's cool.
yeah, Mike is awesome. He's a good guy. He's a good guy, and Brandy's great too. I love those two.
So who makes your tongue bleed? You don't have to say names. Just give me a weird description of a person that.
Okay, well, no, I'm just gonna say it. Just faking suicide. That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, that's a good description.
That was
Not
really
saying
crappy.
any names. And there's a couple people that have either been caught talking about doing that as some kind of a scheme.
Mm-hmm.
It was very vocal yesterday, blah 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 blah, but did not approve of it. Oh my gosh! Stop me now.
No, it's just the whole thing. Okay, because it's pretty clear that there's quite a few people in the community that have been affected directly or indirectly by that. So it's not cool, not at all. So yeah, no, there's no coming back from that, in my opinion.
Let me just say, jokes aside, because there is no joke when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Anybody that has ever been involved with having to know that one of their close friends or family members even been on a suicide watch, they're going to find that so disturbing. It's so emotional. It's like, okay, like people, there's a lot of people that struggle with addiction. There's people that struggle with mental health.
The people that are hurting and struggling, yes, there are a lot of people like that here.
Right. And they're vulnerable to suggestions sometimes, and that's what's really offensive.
Or just vulnerable in general. You know what I mean? When you're in a hurt place, you're vulnerable in general.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's just so yeah. I think people know from what they see from me around the community that I do have a big heart. I do care about a lot of people. I can't help it. As much as I love true crime, and I should probably not like humans because of all the true crime that I watch, I actually love human beings. And I like when people are hurting, and there's a lot of people like that in our community. And so that's what I don't like, is when, people with big hearts, kind souls are taken advantage of, and
that's kind of my point about
yeah.
talking about struggling with addiction. To like use a person's vulnerability and platform to, I don't know what, to do this. It just makes it even more complicated and more like, why does it have to be that complicated? If you're going to be the worst person on YouTube, can't you do it by yourself? Why are you involved in other people that are like struggling or
already struggling? Yeah, that's just that whole thing. Because I don't think we should talk about it too much, because it is Mother's Day, and I don't want to upset people. It kind of, it's very triggering. But I want to say this, that here's the thing. Just because we have someone that might leave the MGL community or LP's community or whatever, and I'm sorry that I'm using names, but I'm just going to say them in that instance. Just because we have someone that leaves there because it doesn't mean that we have to welcome them with open arms every single time. Okay, because sometimes we get screwed over, right? But we just have to be careful who we let in, and I was always, I'm going to be honest, I was always really kind of uncomfortable. She just kind of just came into chat and just started hanging out, and everyone's throwing out hearts and we love you and you're such a great person. And I'm like, dude, you were literally wishing weird spells on my friend.
Yeah,
that weirds me out. I'm going to side eye you.
Like that. I'm not going to yell at them for being there. I'm not going to throw them a heart either.
No, I'm just, yeah, and I can't help
And
it
I'm
because
not
I
going
do
to tell
have a
them I'm
big
going to
heart.
protect them from anything either. I'm not going to lie like that.
No, no, and I think that hopefully, um, yeah, I really hope the best for those two, but I also hope they move on. No, thank you. We've had enough fuckery. We don't need your fuckery. Bye bye.
Yeah,
And
there's
but that's
places
my
for them
opinion.
to go that won't bother any of us.
Yeah, yeah, and
And
may they. I hope the best for them. You know, I really do. I hope that they get the help they need, and I wish them both luck on their health. You know, because I know that that's hard, but that was, that was something what they pulled. That little stunt directly affected me, but I tried not to let it, right? Because it's just YouTube. But then it's like I just got over the anniversary of my sister's passing, mere
right,
days before they decided to pull this bullshit. And I have my mother living with me, and she's still brokenhearted. That's why she lives with me.
yeah,
Okay, so I'm literally watching someone that struggles every day with the loss of someone, and it's hard. My friends know that. My close circle, they know. I talk to them, and they know that that it's hard. But I would do it no matter what because I love my mom, and I miss my sister. And so yeah, this whole thing this last week, I maybe said something in a comment section or two, but I didn't go into the chats where they were discussing it, and I didn't put in a lot of my opinion because I'm just, you know,
yeah. People are
let
affected in ways that we don't realize. Like for
yeah,
myself, I had my son passed away on the first anniversary of
I'm
Robin
kidding,
Williams'
Nana.
death, and he died of an overdose.
Hmm.
I don't. He had mental health issues. I don't know if it was suicide or not. It's listed as accidental. He
Yeah,
was found like on the street on a sidewalk. So
yeah. See, there's so many people that we don't even know that are silently out there that they might even be struggling themselves. And if you're out there right now, and if you're listening, or if you hear this later, it's just like what Hummingbird says. It's really true. The world is better with you in it. And everybody needs to remember that, even if they're not
yeah,
struggling with that, because sometimes we all get down, right? And especially during this transition of seasons, waiting, there's just a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things going on in the world. So just remember that the world is better with you in it. Except for if your
after
name is
that,
Molly. But
after
anyway,
that day of streams, disturbing streams, I did actually cry for a whole day after it. Like because I still don't know if it was
yeah.
suicide or not. And the things that I went through after he died, thinking what really happened in his head, I'll never know. It was
And
hard.
and if you did find out, I mean, even if you did know, it's almost like grieving a second time, because that's how I felt with my sister. I didn't know that it was suicide until after
Yeah,
her
yeah,
boyfriend showed us a letter. We didn't know. We did not know. So, and then it was almost like you're losing them all over again. So
yeah.
maybe I don't know. I don't know if you'll ever get closure with that. And maybe you don't need to know. You know,
I know I won't know, so
yeah,
that I have accepted,
yeah,
you
yeah. I
know.
think people find grace when they die. I really do.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not saying there weren't reasons for it,
mm,
like whatever was going on was going on. I know that I do have to like say the
right,
serenity
Minky.
prayer. I'm not an alcoholic or a drug addict, but I do say the serenity prayer
Yeah,
along with them. I join in their struggle of life, even though I don't have their issues. I still feel like I want them to feel some camaraderie.
sure. And see, look what Nana says. She says, I just try to have fun on YouTube, enjoy creators that can just chat, don't like the craziness that comes with it. And that's right. And, it's true. And you've seen over the last year, as things have just gone really crazy, there are a lot of people that have kind of pulled back. And if they're in Discords, then that's where they remain. You don't see them in chats very often. Or if they don't go into Discord, you just don't see them at all, which is unfortunate. I miss a lot of people that are out there. But I just, there's a lot of people that were affected by that, and I hope that they can. That's why I don't want to talk about it too much, because it did get dragged out all week long. But I just
We can
wanted to
change the
personally say
subject
that,
now. We can turn
yeah.
it into something a
Well,
little
and
different.
then before I came on panel, I was thinking, God, I really hope that I don't start bird nerding while Dory's talking, because that's kind of what I do when I'm like listening. Sometimes when I come out here, I don't smoke in my house, so I smoke outside. My dog plays out in the yard, and I bird nerd. And I'm like, man, I'm probably going to zone out, start looking at all these pretty birds that are coming in. Because I have some that migrate from South America. And then I'm not going to talk because I'm going to forget I'm on panel.
Okay.
But
Somebody said something cute this week. It was in a clip that someone, or a video that someone made of all these different clips of channel holders, and it was, I think, the last thing that was said, and for the life of me, I can't remember it, but it was Chasing Truth. She said something that just tickled me, and everybody was like, "Yes, she's so right about that."
she's so hilarious.
She
I
has a way
love her.
about her. She just
She
has a way.
really does. She's got moxie, as Beefords would say. She's got moxie, and I love it.
Right,
She
and she
doesn't
just
take any shit.
she has her own isms. Like
Mm-hmm.
she says things in a way, and some of them are like the typical, you
Very
know,
relatable. Yeah.
but she says them in such a way that you feel like she really knows, and she
Yeah,
really
yeah,
believes.
totally. She's so relatable. She really is. I enjoy her. I enjoy her stuff quite a bit. I really
So
do.
she was in Las Vegas. I live in Las Vegas. I,
Mm-hmm.
I I guess maybe 5 people watching know that now, but some other people know that too. And they had CrimeCon here in Las Vegas.
Oh, is that where they're doing the Crime Con this year?
Yeah, it's already over. They already did. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was last weekend. I think. Anyway, I watched her live stream from Vegas, and she was cracking me up because I live here. I've never. I don't spend time in casinos here. This is just a place where I live, like any other place.
Mm-hmm.
But all the other places that I've lived in the United States and Canada, I have been a dealer in casinos
How funny. But now
everywhere.
that you're in Vegas, you're just like,
That
no.
I'm too old. I'm too old to be working and stuff like that. Who wants to do that all their life?
Oh
So,
yeah, dealing with the drunks and the assholes. Oh, I sound
right,
cynical. I'm just joking, people.
right.
No, Dylan, you've got to have a lot of patience dealing with drunk people. Come on, you do.
So
I used
I've
to bartend. Yeah.
well, in Canada, you can't drink in the casino. They're not allowed to serve liquor.
How funny, because down here they're always shoving drinks in your face. Here, drink. Let's take your money, honey. Get drunk. Put some more money in those slots. Well, it
Right.
seems like anyway. The ones
Well,
I've gone to, but
when I was a dealer in Canada, we didn't have slot machines either. We just had table games. So, you know,
interesting.
there was no. I mean, they have slots now. Just like they've had them for quite a long time. Like I'm talking about 90s. It was in the 90s that I was a dealer there in Canada, and I guess in 2001 they introduced slot machines. But yeah,
Oh,
no alcohol. It's not allowed.
oh, Nana, can you hear my birds or are you hearing your birds? Sorry, I just read the comment. I'm so bad about reading chat when I'm on panel. I'm terrible about it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah,
That's
you know
why.
what? It's because you get to yakking and you forget that you have other people that are listening, and then you don't want them to. Hey, why don't you guys just call each other on the phone for quick sakes?
Well, there's 4 people here. There's me, you, Nana.
Well, no, you
Wait,
know what? My kids are asleep still, so I'm waiting for them to wake up. My daughter, my teenager, she woke up and made me coffee, and then she went back to bed. Oh, and she did the dishes. That was nice. I think she might have heard me mumbling under my breath last night. It's Mother's Day weekend. I'm going to be
right.
cleaning all weekend. I just know it. But that's just because of my standards. I got to keep the place. And when you have a 5-year-old, I mean, she's wanting to do art projects and all sorts of things. So
I love little kids.
Yes, it's fun. It's, you know what, for people that are like, I'm bored. Really, come over. I got like 6 projects for you. Come on
Right?
over. I got some projects for you. But my kids know when I say that because they say, "Oh, I'm bored." Oh, I got a little project for you. They know what that means. Okay, that means work gloves.
Right. Like, well, that's what I used to tell my kids
Yeah,
when they
you
said,
bored?
can I stay home from school? I don't feel good. I go, sure.
I got some weeds you got to pull. Yeah, sure.
I've got some sponges and some walls that need washing.
Hmm.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah,
you guys put your hands on the walls, not me. I don't do
yeah.
that, so you might as well be washing them. So
Oh, that's
so anyway,
funny.
I'm watching Chasing Truth. Here I'm talking about her, and she has every right to drag me from here to Kingdom Come now. But I'm
Oh, she doesn't do that. She doesn't. That's not really her. That's why I like
now
her. She's not really her thing.
she might now after she hears what I have to say about her. Anyway,
Oh, well,
so I'm
maybe
watching
so.
her the first day she gets to Vegas, and she's walking around through the casino, and she
Hmm.
stops at the Oxygen Bar, which is
Oh,
like so awesome that she actually like went and did this whole Oxygen Bar stuff because I would never pay for that. I'm like,
no.
I would never go to an oxygen bar and get extra oxygen, but it was so cute. And then she got a massage and she's like me. I don't like people touching me either, especially a stranger.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my kids and my spouse, sure. Or
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, my mom. But even with my mom, I was a little standoffish, I have to say. Like they used to tell me when I was a kid
Hey, you
that
be good.
that nobody could
That's
hug
my
me or
dog.
anything, I'd freak out, like, get away from me. So I think I've had my whole life. So I relate to her on that level. So I'm watching her get this massage, and it's fine because the woman is using machinery on her, not actually physically touching her. So I'm like, yeah, like it's hey Kimmy P, come on up if you want.
Well, that
We
might
don't
be acceptable. But then again, then you're thinking like, how many people has that touched? I don't know. I don't know. But you know
well,
what?
you
A
have to
good
be afraid
massage might be nice. It might be
if you're
nice.
worried about the machinery,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
it was things like I don't know what little Kimmy. There's a link here. Help me.
Hey, I'm watching my husky right now. She is giving this squirrel hell. I wish my phone was more charged so I could turn my camera on and show you guys. So the squirrel is sitting up in the tree yelling at her, and she's just waiting. She's waiting for it to come down. And now she's laying down. Okay, she's in it for the long haul. She's laying down. She's waiting. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Well, as long as she doesn't chase my birds, that's
she's
fine.
actually pretending to be asleep.
Yeah, well, you know what?
That's
This is
funny.
what's great because those damn squirrels, listen, those damn squirrels clean my bird feeders out. Okay. And I don't mind them visiting the bird bistro. I even set up a little feeder for them. But guess what they do? They eat all of that. So
Yeah,
I
but
have my husky pup.
the birds
She
aren't going to
chases after
starve
them.
because the squirrel ate their treats because the birds can go a lot farther and find other bird feeders and still
Okay,
come
but
back.
listen, I need them to be at my bird feeder because I
Well,
enjoy watching them.
I,
And
I, I
this
know
is my
that,
bird bistro. It's not called the squirrel bistro.
I'm just saying that they will still come in because they know you have bird feeders. They'll still come back and check
I
on you.
know, but here's what chaps my ass, okay? Filling those feeders 8 times a day because of the damn squirrels, because the birds certainly don't eat that much.
Well,
Now, in the
okay,
middle of summer, the hummingbirds will go through their feeders, and I don't mind refilling those, but that's for the hummingbirds. But the squirrels are greedy. That's what I'm trying to say, okay? They're greedy little assholes, and they get their feeder. If they're going to come into the other part of the bistro, well, then my dog has free reign, and I give her permission. I
have you ever
absolutely do.
have you ever seen what a mess squirrels make if you leave peanuts with a shell on out for them? They make a big
Um,
mess.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I actually have that I have set up in my front yard. I should set it up back here, but I just kind of don't want to promote more squirrels back here. But I
They're
have
going to
like a
go there
unicorn head.
anyway.
have you seen those unicorn head feeders? And
No.
you put the peanut butter and the nuts and stuff inside of the squirrel has to put the mask on. He like puts his head in there to eat out of the feeder. And I thought, well, you know what? If they're going to eat out of my bistro, I might as well get some entertainment out of it.
Right.
So it's set up in the front, but I think I should set it up in the back so I can take photos of it.
Because obviously they're going to just go to both places, the squirrels.
Yeah, they're just going to do it anyway. So
right.
Might as well make some mockery of it,
This is like almost like a resolution panel, We've resolved the squirrel problem.
Yes. See, resolution can be had on YouTube, people.
Yes.
We've just proved it here today. Dory and I have. See? With the squirrels.
Okay, so back to Chasing Truth.
Okay, back to Chasing Truth.
The next day, or was it the same day? Might have been, I think it was the next day. She's like walking through the casino and she wants to play, what's that game? Roulette? I think it was roulette. Yeah, roulette. And I'm thinking, that's like almost the worst game ever. There's like two really bad games. One of them is roulette and the other is slot machines. So she goes to the roulette and it's a machine. She's like, what in the tarnation? And I guess they put all these roulette machines in because of COVID.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. But that's weird. I haven't seen one either.
Now, I think if she'd gone a little farther, she could have found a live dealer.
Oh, I'm sure she would have. Yeah.
But, because she's probably never, I don't know if she's ever even been in a casino before or not.
Well, yeah. Well, when you hit it on the mark, I mean, you go into a casino, especially a Vegas casino. I mean, what my little brother used to call it, Ding Ding Land.
Right.
But I'm sure all the bright, flashy lights, all the different games. I mean,
it's like it says roulette, and I wanted to play roulette, so I have to play this one because there may not be another one anywhere else in the casino. But if you spend any time in casinos at all, they're all, there's probably a game everywhere. Like, there's so, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. You have your slot machines, you've got your card games, you've got your table games. Yeah.
Right. So she plays the automated roulette, which it was kind of fun watching her play it. And then she thought she'd walk around a bit more. She completely did not go anywhere near any card tables. And
she probably didn't go far enough in because they always put the slot machines up front.
I could see the card tables from where that machine went. I could see them. I know what a card table looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for 20 years, so I know what a card table looks like.
You got an eye for it, sure.
So I'm thinking, why isn't she going that way? She's afraid. It's like she's afraid of real gambling because.
Well, you got to dip your toes at first. I mean,
slot machines.
Not everyone's a veteran.
No, I understand, but slot machines to the novice feel like it's not really gambling. It's just like trying your luck.
Yeah, and that's kind of what it is.
But. It's like a scratch-off ticket, and not much harm can be done. But in reality, the slot machine in Las Vegas or any other casino anywhere in any state loves people that have, a spending limit of, maybe $20 to $60, and they go to the slot machines and put all of it in there, and then they leave. Because
and then that's when my husband usually goes in and hits that slot machine, and then it really pays out.
Right.
But people get serious about their slot machines. They really do. When you go into casinos, you'll see the elderly ladies, and they've got all of their equipment with them. They've got everything but their pink flamingo to sit out right next to that slot machine. But boy, they get themselves set up, and they've got their big handbag, and they've got their drinks and their snacks, and they've got their visor hat on, and they've got a serious go time face. It's go time. Oh, yeah.
Right. But you have to understand the majority of people that walk into a casino with that, say, $20 to $60 to $100 spending limit are exactly like chasing truth. They go in, they spend their money, and they leave, and that means the casino won.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And there's hundreds of thousands of people like that,
Yes.
as opposed to the
You got to figure out the algorithms of those slot machines. My husband has. I swear to God, he wins every time.
Yeah, as opposed to the 10 people that, like know how to work it,
Yeah. 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 He'll go play the card games and then he'll come back and win the slot machine.
That little old lady, because she's not going anywhere. So let's just keep her happy. And they make all their money from people.
And I'm telling you, they do. They do everything. They practically set out their garden gnomes and their pink flamingos, and boy, they are planted, and they might just stay in that one row right there. And
never leave.
Yeah. It's like when they get. Yeah, it's.
I don't see the appeal, even if you're winning money. I do not.
Well, I think for some people, I honestly think for some people, I feel like for that demographic anyway, it's just for people to kind of get out of the house. And that's their big day. They're going to go do the slot machines. But
I think I would rather do bingo where there's like actual humans around,
Yes, yes. And boy, they get serious with bingo.
Yeah.
Wow.
I would do bingo a couple of times and, like I'll get like the card that has 3 cards on it. And I'm laughing and saying the little old ladies playing bingo. Because I'm a little old lady. I'm 66 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but those little old ladies have to help me fill in my card because I can't pay attention.
But you know what? Listen, I can't keep up with them. I'm going to tell you. They can do like 20 cards at a time. Okay. And they got their 30 different colors of their blotters. They got their popcorn out and their butter spray. I'm speaking of experience because we used to go to the senior center with my husband's grandfather. And we used to go. And boy, man, they, like I said, they all but put out the garden gnomes and the flamingos. But I think it's great, though, because I keep trying to talk my mom into going into something like that, but she's just not social. She's like, no, I don't know if I really want to go. But the couple she's won, she's like, well, maybe I will go more often. I said, see, look at that. Walk away with $130 in your pocket. Can't go wrong there.
That will never happen to me because I'm not lucky like that.
Mm-mm.
I know better. But, speaking of senior centers, I was looking
Bingo stressed this Nana out. Oh, goodness.
There is a senior center really close to me. I could actually walk there even without my car being registered. I could walk over there. It's been very few shootings,
Ooh, you know what you should do? You should totally start a senior hip hop dance class.
Right. Well,
yeah,
it's the senior center, like the community center in my neighborhood, which is like, I don't know, 5 blocks away. They actually have a senior center for people 55 and older, and they have all these activities.
Mm-hmm.
And I've like looked at it online, and I've looked at. I mean, I was 55 when I moved to Las Vegas. Oh, I was over 55, so I was looking at it, and I was thinking. Yeah, they got like dance things. They've got outings, for $10 you can go somewhere with a bunch of other people on a bus, I guess, or something. They have all these things for seniors. And I was looking and looking, and then I literally chickened out. I was like, I'm not ready.
No hunting. All right, that's where it's at. Okay, have you looked up any information yet about where to, because I bet you can find them. If you've got mountains that you can go to, you'll find them.
Oh, for mushroom hunt, did you go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we were going to go, but it was. Oh, you did.
Yes.
Did you actually find location?
And it's morel season.
Yes, it is. That's why I was telling you, hey, girlfriend, it's your birthday weekend. You should get out there and do it. We can't. It's raining today.
Because my roommate is supposedly in Arizona somewhere, and he didn't leave the keys to his other car, so I have no way to get up there. I mean, if I had known he was leaving, like it's always to me suspect when somebody tells me, "Oh, I'm in Arizona." I know they're not in jail because they were able to contact me. They didn't get stopped by the cops or anything. And marijuana is legal here. I don't smoke it because I'm allergic, but I know he does. So, like, he can't get into trouble for that unless it's a DUI. So I know he's not in jail because he was able to text me, but couldn't talk on the phone. And I just kept thinking, does that mean he's at a casino? Being in Arizona is code for running
It might
around,
be.
running around with hookers and playing cards or playing slot machines in the casino.
Hey, am I still on panel right now?
Yes, you are.
Okay, because I clicked something and it's off of my screen.
Everything's the
Let me
same
see
here.
if I can find it. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, we good? We still good?
I'm
Okay.
trying to read the
Sorry
chat.
about that. Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going
sorry
to
about
start
that.
a twerking class when I retire 3 years to go. See, Nana's got it. It's the twerking class.
Yeah, you should, Nana. You should. You should totally start a twerking class. And then you got to remind them before they leave your class to twerk it while they work it.
See, if I'd known that he was going to be away for the weekend,
You would have grabbed those keys.
I would have said, because he has 3 cars and a
Yeah.
panel truck. And I'm not driving the panel truck, but he took his pickup truck. He left the 2. He has 2 Mercedes, so I could have driven the sports model because I'm short. I don't want to drive the SUVs.
Well, you got to take the SUV. Listen, you can't be
He's
taking
trying
a
to sell that one.
Mercedes to go look for Morel, girl. You need an adventure car.
He's
That's what
trying
you
to
gotta
sell. He's trying to sell that one.
have.
And actually, I would take it if he would let me put a for sale sign in the window. Come on. It's been
Yeah,
sitting.
free advertisement. There you go.
It's been sitting in the front yard forever. I don't think he's trying. I think he's very attached and he's
Sorry, guys.
having a hard time selling it. Like he put all the good stuff in that SUV because he fixes things. That's what he does. Fixes everything. So
That's nice to have, though. I'll tell you, because my husband works on cars as well, and that's really nice. It's nice to have, and he just likes to fix things, and he's a mechanic anyway. Well, the stuff that he does at work is mechanic related. So yeah, it's kind of nice, If something breaks or whatever, he can usually take a look at it and fix it. That's
well,
how we got our. Gosh, that's how we got our smoker. Smokers are usually like the pellet bed ones. They usually
right.
go for anywhere from $400 to $600. And he found one on Facebook that someone was selling. They said that they had left it out in the rain, and then they tried to run it after it'd been left in the rain. Well, those wet pellets went through the auger and fried it. So my husband called the company, and he just said, "Well, my wife gave me this smoker for my birthday, and I accidentally left it out." So they sent him the part for free, and he fixed it, and
Right. Some
we
people
only paid like $80 for it. So
yeah, some people are just they have no idea about life. There's like,
yeah,
my vacuum cleaner is clogged. I need to get a new one.
yeah, yes, it's a throw it away society. It really,
Right.
really is. I
Right.
just bought a front loader washer, really, really nice. I looked it up online. It goes for $1,400. I bought it for $80. And you know what we had to do? All you have to do with the front loaders, listen, because I hear that this is like a problem and some people don't know about this. So I'm going to give you guys all a really good gem of a tip. Okay, all you got to do is just check the filter. Usually, if the filter is clogged on a front loader, then it'll start throwing up an error code and it'll lock and it won't let you use the washer. And it'll do it like every maybe 10 to 15 loads. It'll just lock and it won't let you open it. It won't let you use it. You have to unplug it. Well, that's why this gal was selling her front loader, and she was selling it for 100. I think we talked her down to 80. And then I called my cousin to ask him to help move it, and he was like, and I was telling him the problem with it, and he said, "Hey, you just need to clean out the filter," because ours was doing the same thing. So we cleaned out the filter, and it works great.
Right.
So now I'm telling everybody that has one.
Front loaders are the best. They clean clothes really well.
Yeah, but you've got to clean out that filter every 6 months, or it will, eventually over time it will start throwing up that error code and start locking on you.
I had a thought. No, what was it? Oh, was it about cars or? Oh no, it's about being handy. Like my roommate, he's super handy. That's why he lives here.
Yes.
Yes, he's the same age as my oldest son. So there's no involvement. Like there's no, you know what I mean? There's no.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's a perfect.
It works perfectly for me. And that's why he
Yes.
treats me like I'm his mom because I'm old enough to be his mother.
Hmm.
So anyway,
Well, that's good. You get treated like a queen. You have your stuff worked on
exactly.
if you need it. That's a perfect setup right there, I would say, and
He
economically wise because it's expensive out there these days, man. It really is.
he works for rental management companies. He does all their work. So he's like a super handyman.
Oh, so he does all their maintenance work. Oh yeah, my brother did that for many years.
Swimming
And
pool,
you become a
air
jack of all trades
conditioning.
when you do that.
I mean, he'll be on his way to work and somebody will be stuck on the side of the road and he'll stop and fix their car for them for $20.
Oh,
You know, he's
now that's a good person right there.
right.
That's a good
He
spirited person
deserves
right there.
to live
Yes.
with somebody nice like me.
Yeah, no, man, I remember when I lived in Seattle, there was, I dated this one guy that had a really crappy car, and we were stuck on the side of the freeway in the rain, of course, because it's Seattle, for, I don't know, God, 2 hours at least. And then this nice man stopped and helped us, and when we got into his car, he had all these Bibles and stuff in his car, and but I've always been into true crime, so I still side-eyed him, but it was so kind that he stopped. Someone finally stopped.
Well,
So that's
especially if
nice
he
that
had
your roommate.
Bibles, because those people that have done a lot of time, they tend to read the Bible a lot. You know,
Yeah. Well, or some, you never know what people might use to as a ruse to, hey, I'm a
right?
trustworthy
Exactly.
person. You don't have to be afraid of. But I wasn't. My boyfriend at the time, he was a pretty big guy, so I knew he could handle business if need be. But
Right.
yeah, so that's nice that your roommate does that because when you're stuck on the side of the road for hours, and especially out there in the desert,
Oh
that
yeah.
could
Well,
be that could be, I
we're
mean,
talking
terrible.
freeway here. He doesn't usually leave the city, so I'm
Mm.
still a little bit stumped by the Arizona trip, unless he met a
Well,
girl or something.
hey, I can't remember if you're in Discord or not. Are we in Discord together? You don't
Um,
have to say if we are, because
Let me check and see if we are.
I think we are. Like I said, don't mention the room if we are. Um,
I'm
but
checking. Yep, we
okay,
are.
yeah, I'll let you know where because I don't want to say it on panel. But so we've
I
been
know
kind of
where.
looking at different like desert properties
Oh
um,
yeah.
down there, and there's one that's kind of outside of Vegas, probably about I think like an hour away, 2 hours away. It's desolate as hell, but it's part of a
South.
ghost town. So we're
South.
looking at property there. Yeah, south. Yep. And so my husband's kind of like making this snowbirding. So he showed me the map, and it's like the snowbird line, right? So a property there, and then one in Arizona and one in New Mexico, and
Okay.
they're all
Well,
for relatively cheap.
south, if you're going
Hmm.
south, you're going towards Flagstaff,
Yeah.
and
Well, there's one property that's going to be. It's actually going to be much lower than that. Uh,
okay. But
way
I'm
way
just
south
saying
from that.
Flagstaff wouldn't be that far away if it's an hour away from Vegas.
Yeah. Well, it's
It
like
would,
I don't know. I now don't quote me on the time. I just know that it's not very far from Vegas, but it's not in Flagstaff, but it's like
no, I'm
near.
not saying it's in Flagstaff. I'm saying that
It
if
might
you're
be near
going
it.
there, you are going to be close to somewhere where there is a snow line
Yeah.
because
Oh
Flagstaff,
yeah.
it
Well,
snows
but
like
the
crazy
different
there.
places. I think. Well, I think we would go probably further south for the snowbirding part, and then springtime. We love it there in the spring. So, and also he's just obsessed with ghost towns, and he's found some property, I
It
guess,
sounds
near
really
Vegas.
cool. I'm not afraid of ghosts. Well, at least I act like I'm not,
I ain't
even though
afraid of no ghosts.
speaking of you.
I actually sing that for karaoke sometimes. But anyway, I digress. Um, so no, I'm going to let you know what the ghost town name is
Oh,
in
in
Discord,
Discord.
though. But it looks. But I'm going to tell you. So my first thought was because I'm Native American and I'm not Navajo. I'm not any tribe that's down there south. But I know of all of their. I know about some of their superstitions, and I'm looking at where he wants to get these properties, and I'm thinking, oh dear, I've got to maybe read up a little bit more about those types of things, and because us natives, we're a little superstitious in certain things.
Well,
So,
there's a few things that when I drove from Texas to Las Vegas because
oh,
Texas
wow.
was where I lived before I moved here.
Uh-huh.
And I think it, driving through Arizona, there is like some areas where a lot of meteorites have fallen and there's gigantic holes, like meteorite holes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking that's a little worrisome. Why would that one particular spot have so many
Yeah.
and nobody else
Oh,
has?
yeah. It's, well, I live not very far from Yellowstone, really, as the crow flies. So, um, things like that, I don't worry too much about. Well, nature's going to get you. Nature's going to get you. But it
Right, but
definitely,
that goes with
but
the superstitions. You see why?
well, there's that triangle. Yeah, there's that triangle there in Nevada. Have you heard about that?
No,
The
I can't.
Nevada
I come
Triangle.
from a place that was a witch triangle, but I'll explain that later. I'm not a witch, but I'll explain it
Yeah,
after.
no, there's some interesting things down there in the desert. And those are the exact kind of things that my husband and I like to go and explore. Um, and, we always find out information of a place after we go and visit, right? Because, like, a lot of the times you're out there in desolate nowhere. It's not like you have internet connection to look at what you're looking at, but that's the one thing I love about traveling is just all the things that you can learn along the way, and all the weirdo stops. So we don't ever travel with an itinerary, but we do like that area, and there's so many different things to go and explore also in Arizona. Winky knows. Um, and so it would just be fun, it would just be fun to, and we're finding them for relatively cheap prices, that's why as a Native American, I'm just like, okay, why are those so cheap? You know what I mean? Like, what's
Well,
going on with those
I bought
properties? Why
my
are they
house.
getting rid of them?
I bought my house online because it was so cheap.
Hmm.
I paid cash for it, and then I drove. They sent me the keys, and I drove over here. You know,
Yeah. Well, I think they're for the first place that I mentioned to you that's in the ghost town. I think it's like 20 acres for like 8 grand, which is a hell of a deal.
yeah,
A
yeah.
hell of a deal. So 20 acres, and there's even some old structures on the property,
See, my
which is
son
pretty.
was talking to me because they live in Orange County, California, and he
Mhm.
was talking about. I have a couple properties I'm going to try and sell, and he was talking about me buying in the desert near California, near where they are, and starting up. He wants to like develop land or in certain areas.
Mhm.
And so he has some ideas anyway. So
Yeah. Well, I told my husband any properties we buy in Arizona or New Mexico, I definitely want to do some research. A little bit of research on the history of the land first, because
there's some
I'm
really
not going to have some kind of skinwalker knocking on my window. Okay. No,
yeah,
no, no.
it's there's
Like
some
I said,
really
I'm native. We're
interesting history
superstitious.
in Nevada. I'll tell you, if you look up something like I don't know 10 sites you didn't know were in Nevada or whatever, you'll
Mhm.
find some really interesting stuff.
Oh yeah, there is.
That
No, there's so much interesting stuff in Nevada. The Lovelock Caves alone, I those are
right. I
interesting.
was shocked at how much stuff was here because I really didn't research it before I
Oh,
came
you know what? That's the thing. A lot of people don't know what's in their own backyard. I say that all
here.
the time. You'd be surprised when we travel somewhere and we ask people, like we'll go to the gas station or we'll be at the bar or somewhere, and so what's around this area? And we're not talking about what's in town, what's out in nature, and they just don't know.
They have
And it's funny because we'll end up showing up to a place knowing more about the nature around them than they do. But that's okay. That's what I prefer. When I visit a place, I'm not really interested in seeing the city as much as I am about exploring outside of it. Um,
right, right.
yeah, but that's me. Although I do enjoy good food and all that other stuff, but yeah,
Yeah, I like food, sort of. I mean, I used to like it more, but I can't eat the things that I used to like
yeah.
anymore. But I'm I'm a dropper inner. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well,
Like,
elaborate a little bit.
okay, I used to live in a triangle in Canada where it was the Witches Triangle, and I was living in the city of Vancouver, and
Hmm.
Victoria is part of the triangle, and then there's, I don't know, some other city. That's where the covens all hover, apparently. I don't know. It's like
Hmm.
a special place where witches like to gather, right?
So wait, explain the area again that triangle covers,
It's
because I think I've heard of this before, actually.
okay, you know where Seattle is, right?
Yep.
Well, if you go north and cross over the border to Canada,
Yeah, right there. Hmm.
that's where Vancouver is. It's like maybe
Okay.
25
Yeah,
minutes from
yeah.
the border. And then if you go across the ocean to Vancouver Island, there's a city called Victoria.
I've heard a lot of interesting things about Vancouver Island. I'll tell you what, a
Right.
lot of
So
interesting
that's
things.
part of it. And then I'm
Yeah.
supposing the other city would be somewhere north, but I don't know which.
I know exactly what you're talking about, actually. Okay. So, but that was a witch's triangle, they say?
Yeah, like they say that that's where witches like covet this area for some reason.
Because I've
They
heard about other paranormal anomalies there too. So I wonder if there's just something to that.
it could be. But like
Interesting.
I don't know if it's
Maybe
just
ley
my
lines or
nature,
something.
like because I'm half Russian, half Viking. So the Viking side of me might like have some control over my behavior. And so what I would do, I'd be like, "Oh, I need to go somewhere." And I'd like get my kids in the car and we'd drive from Vancouver to LA. And then I'd drop in on a cousin I haven't seen in 40 years or 10 years or whatever. Say hi.
So you're a dropper inner.
3 kids.
So that's what you mean by dropper inner.
Yeah. Like no phone call, nothing. Just show up.
Yeah, it's just in the neighborhood,
I just
a
happen to
couple
be
hundred miles away.
like I'm always like prepared there could be some rejection happening, but I always get, oh, come in and I get to stay for a couple days, without having to pay for a motel,
Right. Yeah, because by that point,
a couple of meals,
I'm
So
looking
yeah.
over. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I gave my dog a bath so that she could become a muddy buddy. That's going to be fun. Oh boy.
Oh, is she out in the yard making a mess?
Well, we just have a little bit of dirt left on my patio from this big plumbing project we did last year. And so it's been raining and it snowed, freak snowstorm. So her fluffy tail is a bit muddy and her
What
little
kind of
paws.
dog do you have?
I have a Huscaroni Pizza. So she's a husky. She's an Alaskan husky and she's 8 months old and super fluff, super floof.
I was watching a video on the 10 most expensive dogs before I got here, and one of them was Malamute, which are like super fluffy, husky like.
Yep. Yep, they are. And then actually that's what an Alaskan husky is Malamute and Siberian husky together. So her
Right.
mom was Siberian and her dad was Malamute. Her mama was a Siberian. Her dad was just joking. Her papa was a Malamute. But her dad, she looks more like her dad. She definitely looks more Malamute than Siberian because out of all of the puppies, and there were 5, she's the fluffiest by far. Like she's just super floof. And I kind of feel bad because we're in the high plains desert, so it's going to get brutally hot this summer, and you can't shave them.
No,
Because
you wouldn't want to anyway, but
no,
you just
but
stay inside more.
she's going to get and I'm actually going to get her a swimming pool, her own little swimming pool, so that because she loves water too. So I don't know what's going to happen when I start running my sprinklers because she already chases the hose when I water, like bites at it, and it's kind of funny to watch. But I'm like, man, you better not screw up my sprinkler system. I'm telling you, dog.
Like I said, I was kind of looking at dogs and thinking about getting one, and
yeah,
I kind of there's 2 like that I kind of think I sort of like, and one of them is Great Dane.
And be ready for elephant shits if you get into Great Dane. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
I'm not that worried. Like a lot of people like they don't like picking up after their dogs, but like I don't put their stuff in the garbage. I flush it like you would if.
Girl, those are going to clog your toilet. Okay, you cannot flush a Great Dane poop down the toilet.
I can. I can
That's
figure.
not gonna. That's gonna fill up
Figure out
your whole bowl. Okay, that's just not gonna happen. Listen, you better just start a compost pile or something.
I'm sure I'll figure out a
No, I
way.
flush it down the toilet too, but you can't. I don't think you're gonna be able to do that with a Great Dane. I can barely do it with my Husky, but she doesn't have accidents anymore. She
Well,
potty
the other
trained.
one I sort of thought I wanted was the Irish Wolfhound.
Oh, well, either
Because
one would be a great breed.
the what?
I said either one of them would be a great breed.
Yeah, I don't want a lot of hair. That's why I'm.
Yeah,
But I do like a big dog. So the Great Dane's got really short hair.
yeah. Oh, and
And
they're good dogs too. I love Great Danes. I love all
the
dogs.
Irish Wolfhound, they kind of look like a schnauzer. And I think schnauzers are really cute. So it's like a
They are.
giant schnauzer. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But I want to be
Bird
able to
beast.
go for a walk in my neighborhood with my dog and nobody messing with me,
That's right.
you
That's
know?
right. Hmm.
So the Wolfhound looks a little bit more formidable.
But then again, a Great Dane's pretty large too. I think either one would be
Well,
a good
yeah,
mix.
Great Danes are really
Mutual.
big, but like my cousin in California, her sister, my cousin's wife, I should say, they live in Reseda, California, which is in the greater, in the LA area. And her sister had 5 Great Danes. They were the white with black spots. They were super tall. So she doesn't tell me about this. She says, let's go visit my sister. People like to do things, but I'm like a really short person, and people think that I would be afraid of a lot of things, but I'm not. So we go to her sister's place, and we're walking down the driveway, and all of a sudden, these 5 Great Danes, giant ones, I mean, literally standing up, not just standing up straight. Their heads were like as tall. They were like 5 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
So they were like looking at me straight in the eye. So they just come galloping at me because I'm new, right?
And they're excited.
And they're excited, and I'm just standing there, and my cousin's like, I can't believe you. I said, what do you mean it can't? Because nothing scares you. You were not scared of these dogs.
Yeah, most people would have been like, I probably would have been.
They'd be like peeing their pants. Let me tell you, 5 of them galloping, that was crazy. But
yeah, you definitely have some fools, that's for sure.
I'm not afraid of dogs. That's the thing. Like maybe a wolf I'd be afraid of because they might want to eat me. But a domesticated animal, a dog that's been fed by their owners, clearly, is not going to want to eat me. That's not their.
Well, I don't know. I'm not afraid of dogs necessarily, but I did have an incident when I lived in Tacoma where I lived in an apartment building, and I was a young preschool teacher. I didn't have my own washer and dryer, so I had to go to the laundromat. And it was about 3 or 4 blocks away. And at the time, I was married to a military man, and so I was using one of those big, giant military duffel bags. And then I also had a big green canvas bag that they use for their laundry and stuff. So I was carrying that, and I'm walking down the street, and I'm trying to remember what kind of dog it was. It wasn't a Staffordshire. It wasn't little. It was a big dog. The kind of dog, I can't think of the breed right now, but they can like fight off bears. They're huge.
Are Staffordshires, are they black?
Staffordshires, they kind of look like pit bulls, but they're wider and girthier. But it wasn't a Staffordshire. But it wasn't those. It was like the big giant dogs. And gosh, I can't remember what the heck they're called, but they're huge. They're absolutely huge.
Mastiff.
Yes, they were mastiffs. There were 2 mastiffs, and they were laying across the sidewalk. And I'm about a half block down, and I've got these heavy laundry bags, and I'm thinking, okay, and I do love dogs, but I'm thinking, all right, these are kind of big dogs, and one gets up and just barks. And if you've seen a mastiff before in person, they're huge.
I have.
And their barks are pretty big, and it barks, and then it bares its teeth at me. And I even asked the people that were sitting on the porch, hey, could you call your dogs, do you please? I just want to get by here. And they're like, It's my property. I don't have to. And I'm thinking, that's assholeish when people do that. Okay,
Yeah.
you might say that your dog's nice and that it's not going to bite someone, but when your dog is standing up and baring its teeth and barking at someone, grab your freaking dog, please, because I
Right.
don't care if you say your dog's nice. I don't know that. At my point of view, it's looking at me, it's barking, and it's baring its teeth. And I've got my hands full. I can't even defend myself. So I ended up just walking, even though I was only a half a block from my place, I walked across this very busy road and then zigzagged back across the street because I didn't, it scared me. But then, like a couple weeks later, I had a pit bull that kind of just randomly started running after me. Same thing. I had the big laundry bags, and this pit bull's running at me and it's barking and it's not wagging its tail. Okay. I can read dog language and its ears are back and it's just running at me, trying, it looked like it was going to attack me. But we'd had a big storm. So I grabbed this giant branch that had fallen from a tree, dropped my laundry bags, grabbed this branch, and I'm kind of using it to keep the distance between me and this dog. And I'm like looking all around the neighborhood, like, hey, can someone help me? Can someone call this dog, please? And these people are coming out of church and they're just watching me. They're just watching me get
People
attacked
are
by
so
this
strange.
freaking, yeah, they're churchgoers. Okay. That was very churchy of you people. But yeah, they just stood there and watched me as this dog is trying to attack me and it's kind of getting through the branch at this point. And so I'm just kind of using it and swinging it sideways to push the dog away. And finally someone's like, oh, that's a neighborhood dog. And I'm like, okay, great. Do you want to call it? And finally someone did. But so yeah, since then
I've
I'm
actually never
not
had
scared of
like
dogs.
that type of negative experience with a dog. I've had, I've had many experiences where very large, dangerous looking dogs have come running up to me, but I
Yeah,
think they already know that I'm not afraid of them.
yeah.
Like
And you
they,
know what? I didn't even see the pit bull attack me. Like the
it might have had to do with
coming.
the bags that you were carrying more than yourself. You see what I mean?
So and
Like I
maybe
can,
he saw that as a threat. I don't know. But people in the neighborhood after that happened, someone was saying, yeah, that dog gets out and it does that all the time. And like
oh, okay. So their
we've
owners
called.
allow that
So
behavior.
yeah, but I mean, I've owned pit bulls before. I've worked at the animal shelter. I still volunteer there, and I absolutely love dogs. And I actually try to give extra love to the ones that are brought in that they say are more aggressive. Aren't. That's not true. It's not usually the dog, but
Right. Yeah, I'm just saying that yeah, if you found out from the neighborhood, they probably just allowed this behavior all the time. I I had a Irish setter who was taller than the average setter. And they're pretty big dogs anyway, but she was quite tall and a female, and females are very protective. But I
mm,
trained her, I trained her to behave in a certain way and only to attack on command, basically, you know.
yeah, yeah,
And you can train them for that specifically. That I'm not. I never trained her to attack. What I trained her was to not be aggressive unless permission is given, and then you can be aggressive, and she's not likely to bite anyone anyway. But
mm,
but she can't. Like for instance, like a lot of my female friends were afraid of dogs, but she wouldn't jump on them or do. I trained her not to jump up or do anything. But certain guys that would come over to visit, she would just like know that she was allowed to jump all over them, and you know, so she would, they would let her do it, and I would let her. That was permission given.
Well, and see, look what Nana wrote. She said that when she was a kid, she had 5 dogs chase her. That would be terrifying as
Right.
a as a
5.
kid,
Yeah, a lot of
So,
see, I
are you
experienced that with the 5
are you
Great Danes.
afraid of dogs now, Nana? Are you okay with them now, or because that's what I'm curious about. I'm fine with most dogs. It's just the ones that act when I first meet them that, but you do have to balance your energy because they can read your energy. But
Yeah,
that's really hard to do. Please don't
yeah.
bite my face off, because I will.
Well, my
Um,
tendency is to, if it's a dog that I don't know and it's in a public area or whatever, I just tend to ignore them, and then they make their decision based on my behavior, and ignoring them pretty much works for me. I don't know. Like
Absolutely.
I don't look them in the eye. I don't like show fear. I
Hmm.
just like go about my
That's
business,
right.
and they leave me alone. But I really was thinking that maybe the bags, like because I'm not I'm
Yeah.
I don't like carrying stuff. Like I went on a hike with some people, a day hike up a mountain, like
Hmm.
in the Rockies,
You
so a
got to
real
carry stuff when you go up a mountain. Oh yeah. Got to
so
have water. Got to have.
right. And there was it was a good hike, very steep, but a decent path. And then there was snow. We had to go through snow. So you
Hmm.
definitely had to have hiking boots.
Oh yeah.
So it was July 4th weekend, but there was snow up there. And then at the top, there's a cabin, which has like about 30 mattresses for people that if they get there, they can lay down and sleep or whatever. And a big
Hmm.
giant fireplace and a stove, all kinds of stuff. Like really, a really good cabin. So I
That's fun
didn't
to do
really,
group hikes like that. I love stuff like that.
well, I didn't really want to go on the hike, but my friend insisted. And
It's good for you.
yeah, she brought her potential boyfriend. Like she was like hot for this guy who was her roommate. So I
Ah, and you had to kind of be like the buffer zone, like just in
well,
case.
just in case she got
Yeah,
rejection, she
sure.
didn't want to feel bad. She had her friend with her, right? But she didn't
Yeah.
get rejected. But both of these people were over 6 feet tall, and I'm 5 foot.
So their stride's a little bit different.
Well, apparently they don't realize that. I'm like way behind them going, they're going, you have to keep up. I go, no, you have to slow down.
No, you have to slow down. Yeah. Well, see, and I'm a photographer, so I'm always the
You
last one.
really
Okay.
to be the first one there? I mean,
Yeah. Well, it's not going anywhere. It's
right.
and it's supposed to be about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, because they get out of sight, and I'd be like, oh, I don't even know where I'm going.
Yeah.
Am I going to be okay? You know? So, but she was mad at me because I got a pack sack that was like half the size of theirs. So mine was like 25 pounds full, and theirs was 40 each, right? I'm like, you guys are twice as big as me. I'm carrying a 40-pound backpack and trying to keep up with you, you know? But
Yeah.
you need enough food for the whole, 2 days. And I go, I'm half your size. I eat half the food that you eat.
Right.
Like there's logic behind, like I brought like tuna, cans of tuna and stuff,
Easy
like so
stuff. Yeah. You don't have to have elaborate meals when you go out there, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's nice to have, but guess what? You can survive on, yeah, just,
right.
yeah. Yeah.
She was just mad at me. It was like,
No, you packed smart, actually.
you guys, I
Maybe
said, you
she's
guys
mad
are
because
going
she
to be so
wasn't.
mad when you're out of food, even though you brought twice as much, and you have to ask me for food, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you don't want to listen, when you're hiking in like that to your destination, you really do have to pay attention to what you bring. Everything counts. Everything weighs something, right? So you've got to make everything count. So oftentimes like my brother and I, we're different campers. Okay, like he'll camp and he'll bring all this stuff and spend a lot of time in camp cooking. I don't go out to camp to cook.
No,
Okay,
me neither. Cooking is
I
the
want to
last thing
go.
on my mind.
Yeah, you want to get a quick meal in. Okay, I'm not trying to spend 3 hours in camp cooking an elaborate meal and then the dishes and this and that. I want to eat, get up, and go. Because by the time you get done with that 3 hour freaking meal and clean up, I'm ready for a fucking nap. Excuse my
Well,
language.
we
But,
got up there, and there was a whole classroom. Like this teacher had taken his whole class up there. There was like 20
oh,
kids.
dang. So
They
it was
were like,
full.
I think they were. Let me think how old they might have been. I'm trying to think, but they were like elementary kids. I don't remember
Mm.
what age. So we got all these kids, and he's there, and he's cooking. So I'm like, great, we don't even have to cook. He had so much food.
Just saunter on over and have yourself a hot dog.
Exactly.
Hey, how's the potato salad? Hey, Jimmy, pass me the potato salad. I had a long hike. I'm hungry.
Dude brought wine and everything. I was like, this is
Oh,
cool.
hot dog. Yes. That's
You
even
know,
better. Hey, that reminds me. Last year, we did like one final stay on our ghost town property here, and just to just secure the property up and winterize the. And our neighbors that we hadn't met yet had bought a tent lot next to us, and so we were all excited because we had brought a chicken pesto MRE. Okay, and we were super stoked to have that chicken pesto MRE. We felt we were being fancy that night.
right?
And here's our neighbors. They see us opening up the. They're like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? How are you?" And we're like, "Hey, we're just over here cooking an MRE." And they're like, they introduce themselves, and they're like, "Oh, we bought our property and we're really excited about being part of this ghost town." And they're like, "Well, hey, why don't you guys come over for dinner? We've been smoking a tri-tip all day." I'm like, "Oh, hell." So there goes the chicken pesto out the window, like, well, hot dogs. So we went over there, and yeah, they had tri-tip cooking, they had good wine, some good whiskey. And we're just thinking, man, these are some great neighbors. We were wondering, like, what kind of neighbors are we going to have out here? Because this was an empty ghost town that nobody lived in. And now all of a sudden, there's all of these properties that have been bought up, and people are building their tiny homes, and they're putting their little trailers out there. We've got our little trailer out there. So we're like, what kind of people are we going to have out here? What kind of community is this going to be? Well, I'm happy to say that my neighbors are pretty awesome. And
That's awesome.
and they can cook a hell of a tri-tip.
And no mosquitoes.
And no what?
No mosquitoes.
No mosquitoes. What you talking about? No mosquitoes.
There's no mosquitoes in the desert.
Well, guess what, honey pie? Maybe not down in that little area where the ghost town is. There's mosquitoes, but you go 5 miles up the mountain to one. There's definitely mosquitoes.
There are.
I don't.
Hard to get rid of them.
Wildflowers that are up there. Who cares about the mosquitoes? I don't care about the mosquitoes.
I used to have this friend I took camping with me because mosquitoes love her.
Well, there's
so I used to sleep in her tent.
You can make.
Oh, can't hear you.
Pretty well. Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
I said you can use some natural. You can use like essential oils and make your own mosquito repellent if you don't like the stuff that you get at the store.
Well, I have allergies, so I don't use any repellent at all. But mosquitoes don't really like me, and they really loved my friend. So I would sleep in her tent, and
there you go. And then you've got your mosquito magnet.
She would be covered with bites, and I'd be like, "Yeah, no, I don't have any."
and you just wake up in the morning all refreshed. Slept great. Not a mosquito bite on my skin.
I love camping. That's probably why mosquitoes really don't like me that much.
Oh, okay, Nana, thank you. Yeah, she was saying that I was rooting off and on. Well, this is a low budget production on my end. Okay, I'm using some really crappy headphones, but they seem to work okay on panel. I've just noticed that Bluetooth doesn't usually work, so hopefully that's better. No, I love camping. I love being out there. I actually prefer it. So these start feeling like Jack Nicholson around this time of year. Here's Johnny, get me out. But anyway, I think my kids are stirring. I see a light turned on.
I think it's time for me to do something today, I suppose. It's like early still, but I'm good. So thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
I'm going to try doing this every Sunday, so anybody that wants to come in to chat.
Yeah, and I like your Sunday streams because they're just so chillax, and I like that.
Well, I can talk about just about anything. So it's not that I know everything. It's just that I've had a lot of experiences. So I want to welcome anybody. I was pretty adventuresome as a younger person. So yeah.
Interesting stories to tell.
Or not. Who knows, right? Like sometimes they will be, sometimes they won't. but I'm not
Sure.
worried about it.
Well, I'll tell you what, with some of the dribble that I hear on YouTube, I'm sure that what you have to say is interesting and just
It's
fine.
just that I just feel like there should be at least one place where people can go and just talk about anything they feel like and not
Yeah,
like worry about all of the other stuff. Like really do what we came here to do, which is like spend some time and contact other people from other places, you
sure.
know?
Check in on each other, make sure we're all right, you know,
Yeah.
wish each
And
other happy Mother's Day.
and I, you know, I'm I don't do crime, but I'll report a YouTube drama crime if I have to.
Yeah, there's plenty of those.
And
Oh
hopefully
boy.
it'll be funny, right?
Oh boy. Yeah. Listen, I'm just going to say real quick, these YouTubers that are all getting excited about suing everyone for playing their material, you people are all jokes.
Oh,
It's
that is
frickin'
so
YouTube. I'll tell you what, if that was the case, don't you think millions of people would be sued? Do you know how many people have gotten upset on YouTube because someone else played their material?
we'd
Give
all
me a
be rich.
break.
If you
Grow
had
up.
someone to
Yeah.
talk about you, we'd be rich.
You're on the internet. You're going to get some criticism. I'm sure something I've said or done today on this quiet little non-drama panel, I'm sure will receive criticism. That's okay. I'm on the
Yes,
internet.
we'll have to get someone to report us first.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, right. Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I'm not even interesting enough to clip, so I don't have to worry about it. But listen, I just think that's so silly. I see this. It's like a trend now. Well, you see all these, you know, YouTubers. Well, I'm suing you when I get back to my office. I'm suing you for all these clip channels. You're going down. I'm taking you to court. Okay, okay. You have
Look,
fun
I
with
don't
that.
understand why people want to take other channels down. How is that productive?
It'd be, you know, yeah, because they've received some criticism, so now your butt hurt. And you're going to take down that channel. Give me a break. Like you're not up there criticizing others. Come on,
You
it's
know,
silly. Let
the
people
channels
be.
that have been taken down,
Hmm.
they might not have been great people, but like I I miss the fact that I can't go in there anymore because they're gone. Like
Yeah,
I'm old enough and mature enough not to get involved in their stuff, you know. I know how to sit on my hands.
yeah.
So why can't I watch them if I feel like it? I can't because you guys had them taken down.
Yeah, you got butt hurt over something said on the internet. Wah
Or you
wah.
were
People say
offended
things on
by
the internet all the time,
you
you
were
know, and
affected by their behavior. That's the other thing, you know. Oh, you know, their behavior is so terrible. I want to take their channel down. Well, because they got drunk or because they, you know, whatever they did, like some dumb thing that they did, or they yelled at their kid. Like, really, you're going to take a channel down because somebody yelled at their kid once? You know,
yeah.
it's just
It,
ridiculous.
I mean, there's certain things that I'd like to see stopped, like, you know, capitalizing off of missing children. That's
Well,
fucking
yeah,
gross.
that's
But I'm
easy
not, you know, people are
because
going to be who they're going to be.
I just don't watch them. You know, those people. I
Right.
don't.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. You just don't watch them. And guess what? Since losing my channel and having this new one, it is so freeing. It is so freeing because none of that crap comes up on my recommendations anymore. And I love it. I haven't watched certain creators for so long. And so like when I go into MM's chat and she might briefly mention someone or something idiot, you know, some idiocy that someone did for just a brief moment, I don't even know what she's talking about because I don't watch anymore, and it's so freeing. I love that.
But
Um,
what's good is that I feel like at least I know who she's talking about because I've seen
yeah,
them over the years on different panels
yep,
somehow. And that was what told me not to go to their channel because I could see how they were. But I also know who they are and what kind of I can reference it in my mind that I know who she's talking about and I know
yeah.
why. So I don't feel like an idiot. You know, it's like reading the newspaper, you read the sports section so that you can like talk sport. You might not be interested in sports, but so that you can talk
You can at
sport.
least hit the highlights. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And for me now, I just don't care. I've got a I don't care attitude. There's certain things that have been done over the last year, and you know, I give everyone a fair chance, and I look for patterns. So you know, if you mess up, if you do something stupid, we all do something stupid. We all mess up. All of us have made mistakes. However, if it becomes a pattern, I'm going to notice that. And I don't have to make a big deal out of it. I don't have to make a should-do and go on a panel and talk shit or call you out in chat or say I'm leaving. I'm just not going to be around, period. You just won't see
Right.
me around
And
because I'm not going to waste my time.
these people that have made really like mistakes that there really is no coming back from.
Yeah.
I can't stop them from watching. So why do I even mention, like, I'm not saying they shouldn't be mentioned. I'm just saying that why I just wouldn't acknowledge if I saw them in a chat, I
Exactly.
wouldn't acknowledge them. I just wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I do. And that's what grown people do, right? We just ignore them in chat, and I do that all of the time, all of the
Yeah.
time. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we just got to do. If you don't like someone, then again, yes, it's true. Then don't watch because it is freeing. I've got to tell you guys, it is really, really freeing to not
It
have
is.
to worry. Because if you just accept the fact that the person is an asshole and they're going to continue to be an asshole, they're not going to change. They're going to continue to do those things. Just accept that. Uh, you don't have to accept their bad behavior necessarily. I'm just saying accept who they are as a person. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like I was thinking it's really disappointing that they are that way because a lot of times the chat can really make a channel.
Absolutely. Yes. So you feel like yeah, I get what you're saying.
So if they're in
Yeah.
there kind of derailing and being disappointing, it is kind of unfortunate, but I'm not going to be the one to stop them.
No, no, no. And that's why when especially when I had my old channel, I moderated for a lot of people and I rarely ever deleted anyone because most people I modded for had open chats. So let people say their piece unless they're being racist or doxing. Other than that, let them say their piece.
Look I don't even have a mod in here, and Nana said she went swimming for 4 hours yesterday. Am I supposed to believe that, Nana?
She did. She spends a lot of time with her family.
I'm just kidding.
But she's probably burnt to a crisp though. I bet
But
because it
she
was
could
hot
be
yesterday.
lying. Was she actually swimming the whole time? Or was she at the pool? Like, I'm just talking about
Well,
how
when
people
you're
get
with your grandbabies, you don't have a choice. You got to be in the pool the whole
right.
time.
I'm just saying how people can just twist stuff for the sake of twisting it.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
when they're going to have
receipts, Nana, or it
Italian
didn't happen.
food for
Okay.
Mother's Day. Like, is that going to be cooked by a real Italian? Are you Italian? Like, is that important?
No, but today I am. Today I am Italian, okay? Tomorrow I might be
Right.
Turkish.
I'm only Italian when I'm on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, I specialize in bird law on YouTube. And that
Right.
covers a variety of subjects. If anyone watches Always Sunny in Philadelphia, they'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, well, anyway, sorry. I get to
Yeah,
flapping my
let's
gums, and here
quit.
we go again.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
well,
quit talking.
yes, okay, but I just wanted to say to everybody that hears this, happy Mother's Day, and thank you to all of you mothers out there, even mothers to fur babies, okay, because that is being a mother as well. So happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. You guys work hard, all of us do, and it's an unpaid job monetarily, but we get paid in different ways, and that's what matters. All of those hugs and kisses, and like my daughter. Real quick, I had to tell you this because my daughter last night, I said, "Hey, you haven't been cleaning up your messes lately. Why do you do that? Because I know that you're supposed to pick up after yourself." And she said, "Well, Mom," and she said this to me before a couple months ago. She's like, "Well, I know that you work hard, and I want you to get paid more. So I make more work for you so that you'll make more money." And then so I had to explain to her what my payments are, all of her beautiful little drawings that she gives me and my hugs and kisses and my snuggles. And so, I don't know if she still understands that concept or not yet, but I just thought that was kind of cute.
Well, like my kids would ask me, what do I want for Mother's Day or what do I want for my birthday? And I always had the same answer. And it was clean your room.
Yes.
That's all I want. That's
Oh,
all.
yes. Isn't that beautiful? Just clean. Just
That's
clean your
it.
room. Clean your room. And if you see a floor that needs to be vacuumed, please vacuum it. Please take out the garbage.
I didn't even care
Okay.
about that. It was like, oh, just clean your room, stop it. So
Clean
you
your
know what
tape.
my daughter used to do? Because she had two brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
She used to take all the junk off her floor and just move it onto their floor. She's brilliant.
That's great. That's great. That is brilliant. Here, now you clean it up.
Smart girl. Anyway, for all
Okay.
those mothers out there and the fathers that, are
I
playing
have
the
taken on
role
the
of
role of mother. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
And there are some out there. Absolutely.
yes. Have a really good day today.
Yes. Thanks
And
for
bye.
having me up, Dory. Appreciate you.
I loved it. It was great. Thanks. And
You're
bye.
welcome. Bye-bye.